Hey guys, welcome back. SoftLock here. Today we're checking out Void War, a dark tactical space roguelite where you command a starship through hostile sectors, juggle power systems, and lead brutal boarding assaults. It's gritty, atmospheric, and every run keeps you on edge. Just a heads up, this is the demo version. You can grab it or the full release over on Steam, and I'll drop the link in the description below. If you're enjoying the content, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps a small channel like ours grow. And stick around till the end for my final thoughts on the game. Alright, let's jump in and see what this is all about. I did already do the tutorial, but we're just going to jump right into a new game. And the first thing we get to pick is a commander. So there's a couple different ones here. We have the Exile. Has a good health pool, 90, you can see that there, and he does 3 damage, but he also has an ability where he can teleport himself into a target room, which is really good. We also have the Witch, and she has a little less health, same amount of damage, but she's also a psyker, which we'll get more into that as we get into the video. But she has a Mind Bolt with which casts a projectile that deals 15 hit points of damage to hostile crew members. And then a couple pages over there's an assassin, but we can't really unlock that until we get enough of the meta currency to do that, but that one looks also a little interesting. For this playthrough I'm going to go with the Witch and confirm. And here's another part of the game that you kind of get to choose. Well, we're kind of stuck with this one because we don't have anything unlocked yet, but there's different variants of this ship, this cruiser. We're going to go with A because that's the only one unlocked in this demo, but as you can see, there's quite a few different types of ships that you can get, and I'm curious kind of what the full game really has to offer. We've got 2 crewmates, and we are just going to launch in. So the God King has fallen. The Empire is in despair. Brother fights against brother as the ruinous cults sweep through the stars. The very fabric of reality trembles before the onslaught of demonic swarms. Deep within the Imperial core worlds, one final hope exists: to rekindle the flames within the vault of souls. To the Empire, you are a blasphemer. To the cults, you are a heretic. Trust no one. Let none stop you from bringing the renegades of this forsaken realm to their destined annihilation. Alright, so here we go. You prepare your ship for subspace translations. So, quick little rundown of what's going on here. This is our ship. We have different systems on the ship highlighted with these little icons here. We've got our shields, we have engines, we have life support, a launch bay, we've got 2 guns which we're going to power up right now and get those going. We also have the command throne, which is here, and that's what we can use. As long as our commander is in this spot, we can warp to different parts of space. We've got our door controls, and then we also have sensors that will show us the inside of enemy cruisers. So let's go ahead and warp to the next area. So this is the map. We're here, and then we just work our way depending on where we want to go. And then once we reach here, we'll hit the Stargate and be able to travel to another sector. So for this run, I'm going to make my way over there to this merchant and see what kind of systems and modules they have. So first, right off the bat, we got an enemy ship. You run into a chromic warship. It fires at you without delay. You will fight and you will die. So we also have a pause feature. We can hit the space bar to pause the game and then decide what we're going to do. Real quick, let me turn down the sounds just a little bit. That looks a little bit better. Alright, so over here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crew members. They have one shield, and then this is the health of their ship. So it doesn't look like they have any treasure chests or anything in the ship, so we are just going to target their shields. Set it to auto fire. And then get going. And as those charge up, we'll start firing. I'm going to move one of my crew members over here to the weapons area so it charges faster. And then I'm also going to use my commander's ability, Mind Bolt, to start doing some damage. So their shields are down. 3 more hits and they're gone. There we go. The explosion scatters debris in every direction. Enough remains intact to be worth salvaging. So we've got 35 scrap metal and 3 munitions. So scrap metal up here is our currency for buying things from the merchants, but it's also our currency for upgrading our ship. So this here is the upgrade button, and these are all of our systems on our ship currently, and below it is the cost that it would cost to upgrade them. We're not going to really do any of that right now, so let's just go back to warping. See what this Imperial Shrine is. You arrive at an old Imperial Shrine. Its structure is worn, but its solemn purpose commands respect. Pledge yourself to the Imperial Court or leave. I don't think I really want to pledge myself to the Imperial Court. What this will do is it will make Imperial crew members start appearing more. And I don't really want any of those. You do not have time for such superstition. You recalibrate your astrogation instruments and prepare to jump. Let's warp over here to the merchant. And let's trade with this guy and see what kind of systems he has. We've got an auto surgeon. Activate to heal all friendly crew in the room. Recharges every jump. A terror amplifier, which will stun enemy crew. Or a hull reaper, which fires a beam that damages enemy hull and has a chance to restore your own by an equal amount. Or we can get some modules. Shatter fields. Your crew gains 1000% door break speed. That would be good for a strong boarding crew. Spectral drives. Your ship can now dodge spells using its evasion attribute. And synaptic enforcers, plus 10 hit points to all war cultist units. We have only 70. So I'm going to get the auto surgeon because it's really good to have a way to be able to heal your crewmates. You have reached the maximum number of subsystems, max 4. If you install the subsystem, you will not be able to install any additional subsystems. Do you wish to proceed? Yes, I do. And we're going to put it right here. So this will be our healing room from now on. Let's see, we already have power going to it, so that's good. And we don't have anything else to do here, so let's just warp away. Kind of look ahead to see where we're gonna go next. Crew contracts, so we'll head that way. We'll take the bottom route. You arrive in orbit around a barren desert moon. A preliminary scan of the moon's surface reveals a series of geometric tunnel structures clustered around the South Pole, likely the remnants of some long-lost civilization. Let's investigate the structure. You approach the tunnel structures, but soon learn that every single entrance is sealed. You have no way in. You continue looking around and find a few abandoned supply containers half buried in the sand. You decide to bring them back to your ship. So, looks like we got a weapon and some munitions. So, we're going to take that weapon and give it to one of our crewmates. This guy here. And now whenever he does damage, attacks damage all nearby enemies as well. Let's warp to the shipyard. Shipyard is somewhere where we can repair our hull, we can heal our injuries, construct a machine slave, or scavenge munitions. We're going to construct a machine slave, which is this husk, just to have another person in here. So that way we can just have more crew members manning stations. Whenever you have a crew member and a station, so like this husk for example, you can read here, manning improves shield charge speed. If we have it in the engine room, which we have one in there, manning increases space drive, charge speed, and improves evasion. For our weapon systems, manning improves weapon charge speed. So it's good to get enough crew members to have them in your like main station areas, so that way you're getting that maximum capacity out of the stations. An armed death cult transport takes you for a threat and opens fire. Let's pause here real quick. So you can see on this ship here that it is all grayed out. That means we can't see what's going on. We can see that they have a treasure chest. So I want to take the husk, move him over to our sensor area, and see if that will reveal like what they have going on inside. Alright, so that does it. They have ghoul, a ghoul, a ghoul, and a death cultist. So not too bad. Let's take our Imperial Enforcers. Let's take out one of these ghouls. Let's just go for this one. Alright, he's gone. So our Enforcers are in the loading bay. We're going to load our crew and then launch them straight into this room and take out these guys. And also get that chest. So the chest had 35 scrap metal, that's good. And then we'll just stay here and take out the rest of the crew. Oh, that guy's running away. Let's go take him out. Alright, enemy crew has been killed. You search through the remains and find a few useful items. Scrap metal, 1 munition. Continue. You always want to remember to recall your crew. If you don't recall them and you warp away, they're gone. You lose them forever. Same way in battle. If any of your crew members die, I have yet to come across a way to revive them. There may be something like that in the game, but I haven't seen anything yet. Alright, so let's warp away. You pass by a large number of cargo haulers loitering aimlessly. One of the haulers broadcasts a haranguing speech and is met by the wild cheers of the other hauler captains. Investigate, leave, launch bay, steal from the haulers. I mean, we don't have a huge crew, but I'm curious as to what they have, so let's steal. The haulers appear oblivious as you launch a series of assault sleds to raid their cargo holds. While most are empty, you end up recovering some useful supplies before moving on. Noxious Blast. Cast a poisonous projectile at target room. It is a psychic ability, and I guess it just puts poison in a room. I don't know if our captain can have 2 psychic abilities. They have Mind Bolt. Consume Psychogram to teach your crew a new psychic power. Sure. Alright, now we have the 2. That's good. And let's warp away. You arrive and immediately find yourself targeted by a chromic warship. I hunger for battle, they say. Alright. Oh, it looks like they already have like a fire going on in their ship. Let's add to that fire and let's throw some poison in there. Let's move our enforcer back to the engine room. Leave this guy here. We'll actually, let's move that enforcer to the guns. I don't see any treasure chests, so we're just going to target their shields. See that? Oh, the poison didn't stay because of the fire was there. Let's do a Mind Bolt here. One more shot and they're dead. Got him. The explosion litters the surrounding space with wreckage. Some of it can be put to use. Scrap metal and munitions. And let's warp away. Ahead you notice several transport vessels docked to an Imperial citadel. Hundreds of pilgrims line the docking platform. Investigate, move on, Imperial citizen, seek blessings within. How about we investigate? You watch as the subjects of the Empire pay their respects to the immortal God King. A novitiate approaches and asks if you would like to give alms. Give 5 scraps or decline. No, I think we'll decline. You decline. Let's go to the next area. Suspicious vessel. It's an independent trader. We have some items for sale, so let's trade. We've got some crew contracts here. A blood witch, a blood cultist, and a psyker, and they can summon a thrall in a target room. A blood priest. Cast a projectile that deals 10 hit points damage and curses hostile crew to spawn a thrall on death. And a mortician. Immune to poison. Animate noxious dead. Innate summons 3 rot spawn in target room. Or we've got an Imperial Enforcer. A Flux Priest. It's like a machine priest. Or another Imperial citizen. I think we're gonna go the Psyker route. And I want both of them. but we don't really have enough to get both of them. We do have enough to get these two, though. Blood Cultist, Death Cultist. We've got Imperials now. What should we go with? This curses hostile crew and will spawn a thrall. This can summon a thrall in a target room. But this one also has more health. Let's go with the Blood Priest. We've got 23 left. They have room for another ability. Cast a projectile that heals allied crew in target room. Or cast a poisonous projectile at target room. Let's go with rejuvenate. Maybe we can have this guy curse and also rejuvenate our own crew members. Let's see if we can do that. No. It looks like the blood curse is already in the psyker spot. Alright, that's okay. Let's warp away. There's a destroyed merchant ship here who are able to scavenge some munitions from the wreck. Alright. Made it to the Stargate. So as you approach the Stargate, a new map appears where you can decide to go to the next sector. So the ones with just a circle are neutral sectors, and it's just a region that is controlled by this cult, which is the techno cult sector. The exclusion zone is more of like a more dangerous area, kind of like I don't know, an elite sector, I guess you could say. And then this sector is a war zone, and it looks like it is being held by the Imperial sector right now. So I think we can either go exclusion zone, check out the hard stuff, or techno cult and focus on upgrading our ship. Let's just go to the hard zone. Let's see what it has to offer. You arrive on the outskirts of an exclusion zone, a region of space demarcated by Imperial astrogation authorities as areas containing subspace anomalies of magnitudes greater than Class 6. The path ahead is long and treacherous, but those who come ready may find great rewards. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, it is a lot longer than the last sector we were in. So I want to try to make my way to this merchant and see what kind of weapon systems they have to offer. You encounter a war cult vessel being pursued by an Imperial patrol ship. Alright, well, let's attack the Imperials. You prime your weapons and move to intercept the Imperial ship. Alright, what do we have here? See where they're gonna go. Alright, they're gonna man both of those areas. So, let's curse this guy. Let's also put a noxious blast in there. And then let's also bombard their shields. They only have one shield, but they have a lot of health. Alright, he's infested. Poison is taken over. Didn't get through their shields the first time around. Oh, they started a fire in mine. So we're gonna move these guys over here to put out the fire. Hopefully they don't die. Come on, get those fires put out, guys. Alright, their shields are down. Let's mind blast this while they're both in there trying to fix their shields. Alright, let's throw some poison in that room again. Oh, they got fire too. Oh, we got fire too. Come over here. See if you guys can get that put out. Alright, you guys need to go over there. Oh, this fire is spreading quick, guys. Oh, we got it. So you collect what you find from the remains. We got a siege axe and a husk plus 2 scrap metal. So we can only choose one. Let's get the husk because we need some help putting out the fire. Oh, and we also got some intruders coming on board. Great! Alright, you guys come over here. Let's see if we can block. We're gonna close these doors. We're gonna open the outside doors so that way we can release the oxygen. I don't know if that's closing them or opening them. Is that all of them? Yeah. Alright, let's get this guy killed. The chromic cultists withdrew following the death of their champion. You salvage what is left of the champion's mangled equipment. 47 scrap metal. That's really good. Alright. Shields are critical. Alright. We can't see what's going on in our ship right now because our sensors are down. But we're gonna let the air go out and then hopefully all the fires will be put out. Let's close those doors. And then let's take one of these guys and come over here. And then open these doors up to let the oxygen through. Alright, come back over here. Excuse me. Get these guys in our healing room. Let's use our med bay. You put it into the enemy ship. Alright, everybody's healing up. Alright, Husk guy, go back to the sensor. Blood Priest, you are going to be in charge of the doors. This guy will be in charge of the guns. And this guy is going to be in charge of the engine room, which will increase our evasion. And then we are going to save these stations so that way we can just hit this button and everybody will just go back to where they're supposed to go. So we'll do that. The husk that we got ended up dying, which is unfortunate. But we did survive the encounter, so it's pretty good. Open all doors, and we will close all of them. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's warp to the next area. Your sensor detects a civilian vessel being pursued by an Imperial Crusade ship. The Crusade ship is closing fast. And what is the deal with these Imperials like fighting against everybody? Assist the civilian vessel. You move in to intercept the Crusade ship. They exclaim, "Get out of our way, you fool. The witches aboard that ship are about to unleash an incomprehensible evil." As if on cue, a sorcerous light explodes out of the civilian ship and obliterates the Imperial Crusaders. Lightning envelops the region and the foul creatures of subspace begin materializing on your deck. The civilian ship turns around to attack. Alright, so we've got intruders on our ship. And then we also have to deal with these guys. Alright, it looks like they have one shield, not a lot of health. Alright, so let's pause here real quick, see what's going on. Alright, let's immediately curse this guy. And to do a mind vault, help kill him quicker. That's the bloat mine. He should be able to take this guy out. Let's get our weapons started and target their shields. And let's go with that and see what happens. Alright, they're infested. Alright, now we've got some thralls on the ship in case we need them. He's taken out... Alright, so he damaged the system, and he also poisoned this area. So he should be fixing that. Our guns took out their shield. Our shield is down. Let's back up. A few more hits and they'll be down. Alright, not too bad. Several cargo containers survived the blast intact. And we got 23 scrap metal. So let's get this guy over to heal. This guy over to heal. Everyone else looks like they are pretty good. Let's use our system. And then everybody return to their stations. Alright, let's warp away. Unfortunately, we don't get to keep those two thralls that were there. You are under attack by a demonically corrupted starship. So it looks like we've got some skeletons that are on our ship. We've got this demonic possessed ship, and it also has a chest. So let's get No, we don't want to use him. You stay there. You come over here. You go in there and attack this guy. Alright, that's good. Also, you guys come over here. Let's use our guns to take out their door systems. They have a bolt cannon and a graviton cannon. Come over here and fix this. We don't need our engines going down. Do I want that? No, I want the noxious bolt to go in here. And also in there. If there's anybody in there trying to fix that. Let's load. And let's bust in to the weapons room. And then you come in here to get this treasure chest. We can't stay for long because there's not a whole lot of... there's actually no oxygen in here at all. Alright, so we got the treasure chest, we got our scrap metal. We're going to recall our crewmates. And then we're going to use our cannons to take out their shields. You guys, one of you come in here, the other one comes over here. You can go back there. Alright, doing good now. Got their shields down, now we just need to continue firing. One more, there it is. Alright, you guys go to heal. We got 29 scrap. Get the healing started. Everyone go back to their stations and let's warp away. Your sensors detect nothing apart from the strange, fleeting signatures of the nearby rift storms. You move on. Alright, got a free sector there. You discover an abandoned shipyard. Just as you move closer to inspect it, a small private vessel shows up. Hands off of that, I was here first. The looters, should we fight the looters or leave them be? I say we fight them. I'm curious what's there also. The pirate vessel flees before the target lock completes. Alright. You turn your attention back to the shipyard. The facilities within are in a state of severe decay, but you manage to find some scrap. So 34 scrap metal. Very good, we're getting a good amount of scrap right before the merchant. Another independent trader. Let's trade and see what they have. So they have missile templates, systems, and consumables. If we get a missile, we have to have a missile bay to shoot it, which is this right here. So 45 scrap for the missile bay. We've got the Hull Reaper again that we've seen earlier, and a graviton field generator. Creates a gravitational field that slows all crew on an enemy ship. Or we can get a rift bomb, Let's see, ignore shield creates a subspace breach. Hull damage per shot is 1. This is ion damage, and it ignores shields. And this is a siege missile. 2 times damage to systemless rooms, ignores shields, small chance of fire, small chance of hull break, inflicts minor crew damage. Hull damage per shot is 2, and munitions cost is 1. That one seems pretty good. Let's get the missile bay. We'll put our missile bay here. Let's get that. So we need one power to be able to power this. So what we're going to do is go up to upgrade, and reactor units, that's what we need. Each bar represents 1 unit of reactor power. Subsystems do not require power. So put one there, upgrade that. Over here you can see we have 1 more unit that we can use, and we'll use that to charge our missile bay. And for our missile, we're going to load the siege missile. And we still have 72 scrap, so let's go back to our shop and see what else there is. Let's see, this guy can use a weapon, this guy can use equipment. So cryofoam extinguishes fires, and repair drone will seal breaches. So we'll buy those. We'll buy those. And we do have a little bit of damage, so let's go ahead and use 21 to repair. And that's about it, so let's warp. So we will come to the shipyard, and then maybe make our way over to this and see what kind of crew members we can get. You find yourself trapped within the currents of a large rift storm. Violent waves of subspace energy batter your ship to and fro for what seems like an eternity. Eventually, the storm subsides and your ship comes to a stop. In front of you is the dilapidated hull of a gigantic spacecraft. There's something deeply unsettling about the ship. Avoid it and move on, or investigate. Let's investigate and see what it's all about. You board the ship. After several hours of fruitless search, you decide to call it quits. You return to your vessel empty-handed. Darn. A technocult pilot contacts you for help, lamenting the corruption of his starship's machine core by an infernal sentience. His starship appears to be undergoing a radical transformation, and you soon witness the pilot consumed by the rapidly mutating structures surrounding him. The newly mutated vessel targets your ship. So we've got some intruders, hungers, and then we've also got to deal with this guy who has an energy beam and a graviton cannon, which isn't powered up right now. Just 1 second, guys. Alright, let's go. Let's continue. Let's pause this real quick. Alright, let's curse this guy. Poison this guy. Send a mind bolt to that guy. And then have our 2 times damage to systemless rooms. Alright. I don't know if it's gonna matter so much on this one as far as what we target. So let's just target the shield room. Alright, this guy wants to fight the commander. These two are gonna fight. Got him. He's gonna fix that. Stay where we're at for now. They have no shields. Just waiting to do some damage. Alright, we got them. So there's not much left in the aftermath. You managed to recover an intact supply container. Assault rifle or psychic shriek. This is another psychic ability, but we're gonna take the weapon. Come in here, let's get this thing fixed. Alright, and then let's also heal up. We really got lucky having this because normally the only way to heal is like whenever you warp away, you'll only heal like a very small portion, like you can see here. It's like just a little bit that you can actually heal. So let's get our commander back in the command room. We'll go there. We did get a weapon. So you can have the weapon. And let's warp to the next sector. We'll go to the shipyard. Looking pretty good on hull points. We're only missing 3. Everybody's healed up, so we're going to get another machine slave. And do we get a bonus for having somebody in here? No, we don't. Do we get a bonus for having somebody in here? Unmanned? I assume we do then. So alright, my boys are cleaning in the next room, so you may hear some loud noises every once in a while. Alright, let's put... Can you move these? Oh, I guess you can. Alright. Let's warp to the next area. We're gonna make our way, I guess, this way to see what kind of crew contracts we can get. You arrive in system and immediately find yourself in the middle of a massive battle between the Imperial Armada and the war fleets of the infernal cults. Join the fight against the Empire, join the fight against the infernal cults, flee, or request of Imperial assistance. Let's fight against the Empire. You open fire at the nearest Imperial warship. It seems to be under attack by infernal entities. Suddenly, several assault sleds blast out of the fire, out of the freighter's launch tubes, and ram themselves into your hull. Oh, we got some big guys coming at us. 60 health. Alright. Let's see where they go. Alright, so let's noxious blast this and curse him. This guy wants to come down here because he cannot handle this guy at all. Actually, let's come down here. Let's stay here. 2 husks. Blood priest, you come in here and help. You can come over here and fight. Kill this guy. All 3 of you. Let's kill this guy. Oh, you can't fit in there. Let's get our ship attacking. Oh, he has to fix it first. Let's attack their shields. Alright, we got the shields down. You guys come help fix the guns. You go back. Actually, you go back and fix that. You come fix our shields, because we really need those. Oh, man. Let's see what's going to happen here. You need to come over here and help fix the guns. Unpowered. Why are they unpowered? Alright, we got a breach in their area. Alright, power these back up. Target their guns so that way they can't fire at us anymore. Shields down. We might need to upgrade our shields. Though, things like that laser, it completely ignores the shields. But now we got their weapons down. And we're about to take them out. Enemy crew's been killed. We get 26 scrap from that. You scan for more targets. Target one of the larger ships, target one of the smaller ships, or flee. So at this point, I think we're going to run since we don't have a lot of systems in place anymore. You decide to retreat. A few shots glance off your hull and as you make your escape. So as we do this, let's pause. Let's send a repair drone to that guy, to this guy. And then they can use those repair drones to quickly seal these breaches. And then we also need to get 2 guys over here and get our life support system back to working before we suffocate. Almost there. Life support's back up. Should start seeing it turn white again. Alright, the red is clearing. Need to fix this. You guys go in there as well. Fixed. Alright, let's heal everybody up. And return to your stations, please. Alright. Let's go to the next sector. You come across a distress signal being broadcast from the center of a large rift storm. Investigating it could be dangerous. Do we want to take the chance? We only have one more repair drone, so I don't know if we really want to go into a large rift storm. And we also have quite a bit of hull damage. Let's ignore it. You decide to play it safe. Continue. A technocult vessel idles near the jump point. Its crew of machine priests make contact with you and ask you to escort them to a nearby penal colony. Apparently, they have business with one of the prisoners there. I guess we can escort them. The techno priests are pleased with your decision. You allow their ship to trail behind your own. Are they going to betray us? Soon after embarking on your journey, you are ambushed by a Corsair starship. You cannot escape, they say. Alright, let's pause real quick. Looks like they have 2 shields, an energy beam, and a bolt cannon. And only 2 crew members. I mean, we could probably just kill this guy. He dies. Thrall can go in there and fight. Actually, Thrall, come back in here. Maybe we can poison that guy. Let us target that room also. Come over here and fix this room. Alright, looks like we got him. 49 scrap and 2 munitions. After surviving the ambush, the rest of your journey is relatively uneventful. You reach the penal colony and part ways with the techno priests. They thank you for your assistance and offer a small payment of 39 scrap. Small, that's pretty good. Alright, go back to your station and warp away. I want to upgrade real bad right here. But I also want to wait and see what kind of crew members we can get from that merchant. A demon-possessed starship emerges on your flank and opens fire. We've got intruders in our spaceship. And then we've also got this demon thing. Demon-possessed ship to take care of. Alright, so right off the bat... bloat mine. We want to take out this guy. So let's curse him, mind bolt him. Come in here and help fix this. You're doing alright against him. Let's get these weapon systems going. Take out their shields. Oh no, you're poisoned. Get out of there. How are you? You can get some health. You can get some health. Oh, I need to get it going. Alright, go back to your stations. You go in here. Let's take out one of their weapons at least. Alright. We got them. 44 scrap and 2 munitions. Very good. And see, so we already used our auto surgeon, but you can see up here this little flashing area. That's how much that will be healed whenever we warp. So 15% of the HP will be healed. Another possessed starship. You rush to battle stations as you find yourself assailed by an unidentified warship. It is no longer under the control of a mortal crew, but is instead possessed by a demonic will. Worse still, your intruder alarms begin to blare. Something has arrived on your ship. Looks like we have a hound. Alright, let's take this guy. Dang. Let's get... Where's their shields? Use our missiles to take out their weapon systems. We just need to wait for them to charge up. Alright, weapon systems are down. Now time to... Is this guy immune? Oh yeah, he is immune to poison. Well, that's not gonna really do anything. That's alright. At least they can't really attack right now. And then our next missile can go to take out the shields. The only way to defeat the possessed cruisers is to basically blow them up. I think, anyways. Because even whenever you destroy everybody, you still have to fight. Alright, the explosion scatters debris in all directions. You recover what you can. Choose one. Fiendish reagents. Or another husk. We'll get another husk. And that guy can be... If we have two in here, does it make it faster? No. He can be here in the shields then. Save those stations. Yeah, let's warp away. Alright, let's see if we have any good crew contracts. Got 191 scrap metal. We have a raider outlaw. He's a commando. A conqueror who is a war cultist. Or a berserker who is a war cultist. We've got a tool, a weapon, and a translocator. That's pretty cool. Not exactly what I was hoping for. But I think we might get the Conqueror, the War Cultist. Let's give him a weapon. Let's see, this is a tool, so you can't use that. You can't use that either. And these are all psychic abilities, so we can't really use those either. Alright, we'll leave it at that then. Give this guy this weapon. You come over here. Let's do some upgrades. We can upgrade our... See, powers all of the ship's weapons. Manning improves weapon charge speed. Upgrading allows you to power more weapons. Upgrading increases the rate of oxygen fill. Shields grant 1 shield barrier for every 2 power bars. Each shield barrier can block 1 shot. So maybe we're going to do this. Upgrade this twice. Upgrade this twice for the 2 power. That leaves us 26 left. Add that 2 power to our shields. And that gives us 2 shield strength. Conqueror, you can be in charge of... I don't know. The launch bay. Now let's just make our way to the end. A techno-cult ship emerges from a nearby rift storm and begins shooting. Alright. Pause real quick. Begins shooting, huh? Looks like a bunch of husks and a machine priest. This guy's ability is he emits a projectile that prevents target system from being repaired for 20 seconds. That can be pretty rough. Let's target their shields, and then let's also try to take out their weapon systems. Let's send a... Let's see where they stop. Where's everybody stopping? Let's send a curse in here, as well as a noxious blast. Oh, they moved. Oh, they're launching in. Alright. Alright, so they tried to board us here. And it looks like he targeted our own launch bay. 2 of them in here trying to fight me. Alright, let's mind vault these guys. Wasn't a very good strategy on their part. Alright, the machine priests surrender and beg for their lives. But something is wrong. New figures emerge from the shadows and begin chanting in some foul tongue. Dark energy whips across the deck, depositing throngs of nightmare creatures. Alright, so we got some blood priests, skeletons, all on our ship. Alright. You come over here. You need to run away. You can't survive that. You come in here and help. You come here. You come over here and help. This guy needs to come back over here. And this one and fix it. Come over here. You search through remains and find a few useful items, scrap metal and munitions. Looks like we're still doing good on munitions. Alright, you need to come get healed. So do you. You guys fix that. Alright, that's fixed. Let's heal up. Everyone back to your positions. You need to come back over here. Let's save that. And let's warp away. You take fire from an unidentified ship. You notice the strange energy coruscating across its hull and understand it to be under the control of an infernal intelligence. So we've got some intruders, and there's also a chest here. So let's take care of the intruders first. He can take care of that. Alright, now let's curse that. Let's hit him with the Mind Blast. Load this crew member. Launch him into the weapon system. I really just want that. Tons of scrap. Let's see if we can take out some of their weapon systems. This husk is almost dead. Alright, let's recall. You need to go in there. You need to go in there. Let's target the shields. And then also hit their weapon systems so they stop attacking us. One weapon system down. Didn't get through their shields. We'll use our next missile on the shields because we're not getting through quick enough. You go over here. Let's go ahead and get you guys healed up. Alright, shield. One shield is down. should be taking them out here in the next second. There we go. Alright, you managed to retrieve an intact supply container from the remains. 39 scrap and 2 munitions. Alright. Let's get our commander back in on the command deck so that way we can warp away. Whenever the commander is not there, it doesn't allow you to warp. Commander goes. Go to the next area. You are caught in a rift storm, struggling to maintain course when a techno-cult ship appears. Our flux capacitors are damaged beyond repair. Without them, the relics aboard our ship will never make it back to the enclaves. Offer them your spare flux capacitors, attack them, or ignore them and leave. So they have relics. Energy beam 2 does not affect shields. Engineer. Curious what kind of relics you got. You target lock their ship. Alright, where's everybody gonna go? Alright, they're trying to fix this room, so let's go ahead and curse them. Let's get that curse in there first. Now let's mind blast them. That'll put our thralls in there, and they will start fighting. Since they're all together, let's go ahead and noxious blast that room also. And then let's get some of our weapon systems going. Let's take out their guns right off the bat. And then let's take out their shields if we can. Got one shield down. They're trying to get their engines back online, which it looks like they did. Sometimes they can actually like try to escape. Keep on going. All right. We took them out. Several cargo containers survived the blast intact. 29 scrap. You recover some unusual equipment from the wreckage. 2 bloated reagents. Looks like it's a tool. It is a ritual material to summon a bloat mine. Alright. There's our Stargate. You approach the Stargate. And then we'll get to choose our next zone from there. But guys, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. This is our first look at Void War. I really got to say that I'm liking this one so far. I like the different variety in the way that you can approach the runs. The approach we're taking is more of a, I don't even know how you'd say it, weapons-based approach, using our crew to defend our ship while taking out some of their key systems, but also having some crew members that have some abilities that can directly target their crew in their rooms to help us even more, which is awesome. It's a cool way of doing it. I can imagine there would be some other ways of going about it as well, as far as having like just a crew that you can take to launch off your ship and board theirs and take them out from the inside, as well as just like a straight up like weapon systems build with artillery and missiles and guns. It's just a really interesting way of being able to play the game different ways every time you decide to do a run. Atmosphere, the atmosphere is pretty cool. It's got that like dark, gritty, almost like Warhammer 40k vibe. Really pulls you into the whole experience. It's kind of immersive and intense. So yeah, Void War, it's absolutely on my radar. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Really thinking about getting the full game and seeing what else it has to offer. And if you guys liked the video, hit that like button. Subscribe for more indie games and roguelites. I love those. Also thinking about starting a new series with the Stellar Blade game that just came out on PC. So look for that and drop a comment if you tried this game or if you're thinking about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it too. So thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.